Yeah, hi everyone. Let me introduce myself. So, I am Pawan. I have 8 years of experience in Python, and currently I'm working in an MNC. At present, I'm working as a machine learning engineer. Before that, I worked as a web application developer, which has a Python developer, and later I've upskilled to the data analysis. After that, now I'm working on the machine learning applications. So, this is about myself. And coming to Python, so today is the Python demo. Okay, so what is Python, why we are using the Python? Okay, so what is the Python, why we are using the Python instead of using Java? Instead of using Java, why we are using Python? So first of all, okay, so from front end, so whenever user trying to enter the details in a registration, okay, for example, consider a Facebook application. Okay, this is my Facebook application. Okay, from here I have to enter the details like first name. Okay, like first name, last name. Okay, and Gmail ID, password. At last we have a submit button. Here we have the submit button to submit the details. Okay, so whenever we enter the details, we need to capture all these details. Okay, and we need to save it in a database, which is a um, we have different types of databases. So which is a RDBMS, relational database management system. We have to store the data inside the database. Okay, so to store into inside the database, we need to capture all this data. Okay, so to capture data, we need to use some medium language to process the data. That is nothing but Python. Okay, so we have so many languages like Java, Python, and .NET. Okay, so from all these languages, we need to process the data from user interface, UI, to database, and we have to store the data. And again, whenever we need to retrieve the data, okay, for example, I want to get all the account details from the database. Okay, or else I need to create something, create a user. Okay, or update my password. Okay, or delete my account, or read the data to get fetch the all details of my data. Okay, so to do all these operations, okay, we use Python. So what is Python? So to process the data, from UI to database, or vice versa. Okay, to process the data from UI to database. Okay, so in this way we will use the medium language, nothing but Python. Okay, so instead of having Java, why we are using Python? Okay, so for example, consider for loop in a Java. Okay, to write a for loop in Java, it requires minimum 3 to 4 lines. Okay, to write a for loop, 3 to 4 lines. Okay, but in Python we can complete it in 2 lines. So the concise of code is very less. Okay, compared to Java, the code is very less. Concise code means So whenever we have a less code, okay, so whenever we have a less code, the performance is high. So it is completely vice versa. Okay, so when we have less code, okay, the performance is high. It is inversely proportional. Okay, so for this purpose we are using Python. Nowadays we are dealing with large quantities of data, right? So for data analysis and machine learning, for all these things um, we need to process as soon as possible if we have some lakhs of data, huge data. So for that, if we use the Java, means the performance is low because of the huge data, so it will take some time to process the data. So that's why nowadays we are using Python. Okay, so Python, most of the times we will use Python. If we learn Python, we have some multiple roles where we can get the jobs. Okay, so the jobs and roles are: first one, now I will explain about the roles. Okay, so how the, so in MNCs, so for by learning Python, how can we get the jobs? So total how many roles we have if we learn Python? I will explain those details. Okay. Now coming to Python, so if we learn Python, only Python, so we can get a job as automation developer. Okay, just for automation. Okay. So if we learn Python plus Flask or Django. Okay, so this is a framework. I will explain how what is framework also. Okay, so Python plus Flask or Django, you can become as a web application developer. Web application developer. Okay. And after that, Python plus some advanced libraries. Python plus advanced libraries. Okay, so the advanced libraries are pandas, numpy, and matplotlib. By learning these three advanced libraries, not only matplot, and also we have plotly. It is an interactive graphs. Okay. So by learning all these four advanced packages, you can become as a data analyst. Okay. Data analyst, and after that, by learning all these advanced packages, and also one huge package, it is nothing but a scalar, nothing but scikit-learn. Okay, to after learning this huge huge library, you will become as a machine learning engineer. Okay, machine learning engineer, ML engineer. And also you can become as a deep learning engineer after learning some PyTorch applications, like advanced packages like PyTorch. Okay, and some other Keras, some other libraries like Keras. All these are huge libraries. Okay, so if you learn all these libraries, then you will become as a deep learning engineer. So it is completely your choice. So to which role I have to learn. Okay, so I will suggest step by step is the best process. Okay, first you have to learn Python, then after you have to learn the Django, then after you have to learn these advanced packages. Okay, after becoming the pro in all these sections, you just go through the machine learning. Okay, so these are the roles and responsibilities. Okay, actually, for Python nowadays we have more and more demand because of the data engineering. Okay, in data engineering, most of them they are using the Python as a language. Okay, so that's why nowadays we are using Python instead of Java. Okay, so now let me explain about the web application. Web application. So, what is meant by web application? Okay, so for example, we have a Facebook, right? Facebook is an web application. How you are accessing this web application? They develop this Facebook application. For example, this is a Facebook application. Okay, Facebook application. They developed this Facebook application and they deploy this application in a server. Okay, in a server, they deploy this web application. They deploy into server. So from now we have the access to this server and we are accessing Facebook application. Now everyone accessing Facebook application by giving the domain name and URL name like www.facebook.com. So actually, this web application means web application is nothing but application which is deployed in a web server and we can access from all over the world. Okay, this is called web application. Okay, so how what is the design and design? How is the design for a web application? So, for example, I have a web application with three layers. Okay, so every web application contains three layers. Okay, first one is UI. Okay, this is the UI. UI is nothing but user interface. Okay, user interface. The technologies for the user interface are HTML, CSS, JavaScript, okay, Angular, React.js. So these are the front-end technologies to develop a web application. Okay, so just a UI page we can build using these technologies. Okay, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, AngularJS, and React.js. Okay, and there is a database. Okay, this is the database. Okay, this is the database. So for the database we have SQL Server, MySQL, okay, and MongoDB, Sandra, etc. Okay, these are the databases. So now we need to process the data from UI to database, right? So for that we are using Python. Okay, for that we are using Python plus Django framework. Python plus Django framework. Okay, so for every web application internally it contains three layers. Okay, internally it contains how many layers? Three layers. Okay, for example, if we consider so if we consider the Java application with Spring, okay, Java application with Spring, we have controller, service, DAO, data accessing object. Okay, in the same way in Python, this controller we call it as a model. Okay, and service we will call it as a view, and DAO we will call it as a template. Okay, so what is all these layers? So what it will do and how we will use these layers? Okay, So whenever we will get a request, okay, after submitting all my details, I have to click register now. Okay, so when I click on register, sign up button, when I'm clicking on sign up button, here I have the sign up button. Okay, so the request will comes to controller. Okay, so what the controller will do, whether it will check, this controller will check whether it comes for sign up. Okay, whether it is comes for sign up or sign in. Okay, based on the type of request, based on the type of request, the controller will get that request, and according to the type of that request, it will redirect it to the service. So for example, if I came for sign up, so we have to save all the details. So for that, all the business logic will present in the service layer. Okay, the business logic, service layer is nothing but business logic. So here the business logic, so if it comes for sign up, then go to this particular business logic. If it comes for sign in, then go to redirect to particular service. So based on the type of request, it will redirect to that particular service. Okay, so after getting the, after executing all the service business logic, now we have to save the data. Okay, so DAO is nothing but data accessing object, where we can get the access of database, and we need to save the data. So from service layer to DAO layer, here we have the options to save the data, whether it we need to save or update or get or delete. For all these functions, we have to write the code to insert the data, to update the data, to get the data, to delete the data. Okay, so here controller is always associated with UI. Okay, controller is always associated with UI, means to get the data, means the type of request we need to find out. Okay, and the DAO layer, and the DAO layer is always associated with, DAO layer is always associated with database. Okay, whether we need to save the data or get the data. Okay, so this is the cycle of web application developer. Okay, so these are the three layers we have in the web application: controller, service, DAO. So these terminologies we will call it in Java and Spring. Okay, in Java and Spring we will call it as a Java and Spring. Okay, we call it as a controller, service, DAO. But coming to Python and Django, we will call it as a model view template. MVT architecture we call. Okay, MVT, model view template. Here the terminology is different. That's all. So everything is same. If we compare to Java and Spring, and if we compare to Python and Django, everything is same. But compared to Java, the only difference is we have less code in Python compared to Java and Spring. Okay, yeah, this is about web application. Okay, now coming to REST API. Okay, we have Web services. Web services is nothing but, so for example, first I will explain an example. Okay, later I will discuss about what is web services. Okay, so for example, you are placing an order. Okay, you are placing a food order in Zomato. Okay, in Zomato you are placing an order. So after adding the items in the cart, you need to do the payment, right? So again it will redirect to payment option. Okay, so according to that we need to select the bank and we need to give the details. Okay, so without giving the details also it will directly get the details of our bank. Okay, so just we need to enter our OTP by using, they will use our phone number, and based on the phone number they will find out whether there is there any banks to uh, link up with that phone number, and they will send an OTP for that, for the payment. Okay, so how, without giving any user credentials, how they are accessing the bank bank services? So here we are not giving any credentials, right? So just when, for authentication purpose we are entering the OTP, that's all. We are just entering the OTP. Okay, here we are not providing any username and password, all those details. Just we are providing OTP. Based on that OTP, they will deduct the amount from our account. Okay, so without giving any username and password, how we are accessing that? How they are accessing Zomato people? How they are accessing the bank services? Okay, so for this we are using web services. Okay, web services. For that we are using web services. So if we consider Zomato application as a web application for now, okay, just let us assume that. Okay, so this is my Zomato web application I have. Okay, this is my Zomato web application I have. Okay, so now from this, here the business logic will get, right? So from here we need to we need to access the bank services. For example, my bank is an ICICI bank. Okay, I need to access the services of the bank. So how you will access? So from here they directly access the service layer to get the services from the bank. Okay, to get the services from the bank directly, they will access from the business logic to another business logic of the particular applications. Okay, so this is called web service. So web services is nothing but communication between two different applications. This is called web services. Okay, communication between two different web applications. Okay, whether this application, we have this application in Java. Okay, and this application in Python. Okay, so how you will communicate between these two different web applications? For example, consider this is a, okay, this application, for example, consider this is an Indian. Okay, so Indian, and he is an American. Okay, American. So how we will communicate with these two people? So for suppose Indian, I have to communicate with American. So what is the language barrier I am using? English language. In the same way, to communicate with a different language application, they are using a language called JSON, JSON language. Okay, JSON is nothing but JavaScript object notation. JavaScript object notation. JavaScript object notation. So using this JSON language, they will exchange the data between these two service layers. Okay, they will exchange the data between these two service layers. So actually the web services are of two types. Okay, actually the web services are of two types: SOAP and REST. Okay, for example, if you take the client and server architecture. Okay, for example, I have a client and server architecture. This is the my server. Okay, so how I will communicate from client to server? I need to send a request and get a response from the server. Okay, this is the client system. Okay, this is the server system. Server is nothing but which has capability to get a request and response. Okay, so it has a capability to get a request and send a response. Okay, this is called server. Okay. So to access the data from client to server, we call it as a web services. Web services are of two types. Okay, the first one is SOAP and the second one is REST. Okay, SOAP and REST. So SOAP is the older version. So nowadays, no, very rarely we are using the SOAP services. Okay, the advanced version is the REST. The advanced version is the REST because uh, what are the advantages of SOAP, and I will tell you the what are the advantages of SOAP and REST. Okay, so here we are sending a request and getting a response. Okay, this is the request and this is the response. So in earlier days we use the SOAP. Okay, to send the request and response we have to use XML in SOAP services. Okay, XML XML language we will use. So using this XML language, what happens is there is no security. Okay? There is no security. To get the security, what they will do, so whenever we are signing, okay, we will get the username and password, right? So this username and password we need to convert into, we will get in request, we will get it in XML format. Okay, for security reasons, they are converting that XML into XSD format. Okay, XSD format because of the security reasons. Okay, after getting this XSD object, okay, whenever it is, so after getting this XSD object, again we need to convert it into XML format to read the data in the server. Okay, so this is a time taking process. First we need to convert XML to XSD, and this XSD data object converted into XML to read the data. Okay, and the same way, if you want to send the response means same again XML, XSD, and again here while receiving the response, here we need to convert into XML format. So that time taking process is very high compared to SOAP and REST. Okay, so in SOAP we have, it will take so much time. So the response is very bad. Okay, in XML. Coming to JSON, so for JSON we have to send it in a HTTPS server URL so that we have high security to send the data, and also JSON is a light object. Okay, XML is a heavy object. JSON is very light object. Okay, this is a heavy object. Okay, it contains heavy object is nothing but it contains more memory. Okay, it occupies more memory compared to JSON. Okay, here the JSON is very lightweight object. It occupies very less memory. Okay, and the response is very good. Means the response, the time taken to get to receive a response is very less compared to XML. So that's why we are using REST services instead of using SOAP services. We are using the REST services. Okay, is it clear? Up to here, everyone is clear, right? If you have any doubts, you can ask. Chaitu Srinivas Naga.
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thanks for confirmation. Okay, so this is about the client server architecture. Okay, and coming to Django. So, what is meant by Django? Django framework. So consider I've completed the development of an application. So I've created this application. So for example, this application, any food application, if we consider this is as a food application, okay, I've created this application. Now I have to give the access this application to everyone, so that everyone can access this application. So for that, what I have to do, I have to deploy this application. I have to deploy this application in a server. Okay, in a server, so that it can access to, everyone. Okay, everyone from the world, you can access from it anywhere by using, by connecting to internet. We just access to that URL and access that application. So for that, so here I've created a food application, and I have to deploy this application in a server. Okay, and from this server, that I have a server URL. So using the server URL, I will access this application. So from this, everyone will enter the URL. For example, www.com. Okay, I will give this URL and access that application. So from here, everyone will access this application from server using this above URL. Okay, so to get, first of all, to create this application, okay, to create this application, we need some configuration. Okay, all these configurations were given by the Django framework. No need to create any configurations for that. Automatically, whenever we set up this application, we will get all these configurations. Okay, and just we need to write the code and we need to execute. That's it. So everything is provided by this Django framework. Okay, so why we are using this Django framework? Okay, for example, I have a bank application, ICICI bank application. Okay, in ICICI bank, in banking sector, okay, every company has different line of businesses, LOBs. This is called LOBs, line of businesses. So what are the line of businesses? For ICICI bank, I have savings banking, okay, deposits banking, deposits, okay, loans department, and finance. So these are the four line of businesses for every bank. For every bank, it is common. Okay. So ICICI consider. So here ICICI is a project. Okay. This is called a project. Inside the project, we have multiple applications. Nothing but multiple line of businesses. So these are all called applications, apps. Okay, so in order to get overcome from the confusion of this, we need to use the Django framework. Okay, by using this Django framework, we have to provide the URLs, views, and models. Okay, so for example, if I open the banking application, so for example, I have to sign in. So the sign in part will have to take place only in the banking application, savings account. Okay, savings application. So if I do the sign up in savings means, it is it is specific to that savings application only. Okay, we need not to go to the deposits application. So for every application, there is a different barrier. Okay, so to provide these barriers, we will use Django framework. Okay, so Django framework, it contains all the configurations. So we just need to set up this application and we just run the application. That's all. Okay, so for this, I will show one example how the Django will work. Okay, um, yeah. So all these are Django sample projects. Okay, yeah. So if you create a, first we need to create an environment, Django environment. Then after we need to create an applications. Okay, this is the application. This is the Django application. So Django application contains this settings.py. So all these configurations comes to Django setup. Okay, urls.py. All these are default settings configurations we will get. Okay, and so after getting this application, we need to create our files. Okay, our application is url app2. Here we will get models. So all the models were created here. Okay, views is nothing but the database related information we will have here. Okay, sorry, business logic we have here. And the template is nothing but it is associated with database. Already I have told you, right? Okay, so this is about the Django framework. Okay, not only Django, we have Flask also. So for machine learning, we will use Flask, and for the web applications, we will use Django. So the difference is Django is heavyweight, so it will we need, it have different features compared to Flask. But Flask is very limited and it is very lightweight. So easily we can use Flask to create a to access the machine learning models. Okay, so this is about the Django framework. Okay, up to here it is clear, right? Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, so so yeah, this is about the course content, and we will have the notes also. So I will share you the this GitHub repo link. So GitHub repo link contains all the data. So for if you want to go to the Python official, okay, you will have all the Python related topics here, and also the interview questions. Okay, so each and everything it is very clear about that, from Python introduction to the OOPS concepts. Okay, so my content is prepared based on the three topics. Okay, first I will explain about the topic. Okay, based on the real world example. Okay, real world example. Okay, after that I will go through the real time example. Okay, after that I will explain the code. So in this way I have prepared this notes course content. Okay, because most of them are coming from different backgrounds, right? Some of them will come from mechanical, some of them will come from CSA, civil, non-core, right? Some core part from core teams they will come, so they don't understand about these terminologies. So for those people, even the basic people can also understand by seeing these notes. Okay, so for example, if I go for any of this, so any of this Python notebook, Jupyter notebook, See, so for every topic I've created this real time work example and real world example. Okay, so easily you can understand. Okay, this is about the Python, and also we have the Django nodes also, and I've prepared the Django nodes for you also. It is very simple, you can easily access the Django also. Yeah, here it is, along with the screenshots we have, and how to set up the Django, how to set up a Django project, all the steps I have written here, and the screenshots, everything I've written here. So no need of preparing notes. So if you go through these links, it's fine. Okay, no need to prepare any notes, don't waste your time. Okay, just you can listen the topic and just do the practice, that's enough. Okay, yeah, that's it from my side. Anyone have any doubts?
Hi, Pawan.
Yeah, hi Srinivas.
How long is the program and like, what is the after completion of this? What are the things you are providing?
Sorry, I didn't get you, can you come again please?
Yeah, how long is this training program and how much is
Okay.
it costing us?
Yeah, the duration is for the Python, for only Python it is nearly takes 45 days.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
and Django it will take 45 days.
Oh, Django alone is 45 days?
Yeah,
Okay, if I'm not a beginner in Python, how do I learn only Django?
yeah. So first, join for Python. Okay, so I will explain each and everything. Basic. Just now I explained about. So I will taught you the real world example. Then after I will explain the real time example and the coding. So every day you have to do the practice for 1 hour after the completion of the session. Okay, so then you can easily grasp. Even though I am not from CSE background, I am from mechanical background.
Okay,
Yeah, I too don't know. Whenever I'm a beginner, I too don't know how to copy and paste the file from one place to another place.
oh, okay.
I,
You
I'm
started-
I'm I'm completely zero knowledge in using the computers and laptop.
Okay,
Yeah,
so, okay. My question is, once we complete, is it totally taking 90 days for Django and Python together?
yeah. Actually, this is the maximum. Okay, so
Hmm.
if we attend continuously, means if we do the continuously, then it is less than 90 days only. We can complete it before 90 days.
Because I am not a beginner in the Python. I have
Oh, okay,
basic knowledge,
so
more
actually,
basic.
actually the main time taking process is at this level only, in the level one, while
Oh,
learning the Python. So if you easily understand Python, then Django is not. It is just a cup of cake. That's all.
right.
Piece of
So
cake.
you, so is there any way I can wait till you start your Django program, I mean, the Django tutorial?
Yeah, whenever we completed this Python,
Hmm.
so again we will start the Django. Soon we will
Oh,
start the Django. It's a
what is the
continuum.
program cost, Pawan? How much is it costing?
For those details, can you ask about the admin people,
Oh,
Visualpath
okay.
admin people? Yeah,
Okay.
please
After
reach
this
out to.
will
Yeah.
you be helping us to get any job or something, interviews or technical support or anything, or we have to do our own on our own?
No, no. I will prepare you.
Oh,
So yeah, a nice, good question. Okay.
for
So
interviews and
I I
all.
I have some real time projects also. Okay.
Okay.
So currently I'm doing some projects. So Based on the projects also, I've created the content. Okay. Wait, I have it here. Career.
No, no. Once we understand the subject, it'll be easy for us to do the real-time work, right? Only when we don't
Yes.
know the subject, there will be doubts and we will be
Yeah.
hesitating to work in real time.
Me, means understanding the basics is somewhat difficult because
Uh,
we need to just put it in mind. Okay. So
right.
then after learning thoroughly, you will get
Mm,
after learning all these basics. So
mm,
whenever I've explained these mini projects, you can able to understand.
mm,
So what exactly they are doing in the software industry. So it is
mm,
not it's not a big deal. We can easily grasp the knowledge.
mm.
But
What are the job? Yes, Pawan,
yeah,
I understand. Yeah, what are the
yeah,
job opportunities like? Still, they have a lot of jobs for Python developers, Django Python.
yes, yes. Of course, we have
Are
now
there any remote
at
jobs still? Most of
at
them are like
present. No, no. At present, Cognizant is acquiring the people for Django, Python
uh,
Django.
Cognizant has a branch in the United States also, right? In America.
I'm not sure about that.
You're talking about India. Okay. So,
Yeah,
okay.
in India.
I checked it and there are really a lot of jobs for Django Python developers. What is the
So,
average salary now, Pawan? How much they are
sorry.
giving? I'm not talking about India. You have any idea how much they are offering for a Django Python developer?
Uh, I'm not sure about the US packages
Oh,
because at present I'm in India. I'm sure about my Indian packages, but I'm not sure
okay.
about the
I
US
can
package.
get this information. So you think it will be still in demand for a few more years, this Python?
Yes, of course. Nowadays we are using the data engineering, right? So data
Uh,
engineering is completely based on the Python only.
Artificial intelligence too, machine learning
Yeah.
and as
Yes. So see, I've explained you, right? The
uh,
automation engineer,
right,
okay, and the web application developer,
mm,
okay, ML engineer,
right,
PL engineer, deep learning engineer,
right.
okay,
So there is
and
still
A- AI developer.
right. Mm.
Okay, nowadays we are getting the prompt engineering also,
Data analytics, data
data
science,
analytics,
right.
data analytics, okay, and data engineering.
App development.
Even though
Mm.
data engineering and also nowadays DevOps engineers. Okay, DevOps engineers needs the one um,
Like
DevOps engineer needs one
programming.
programming language. It is
Oh,
Python only.
oh,
So these many roles we can access. If you don't have any jobs in one role, you can get the job in another role also.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. In your view, a small little last these ISRO and NASA, these people use the Python, right? Very abundantly, and they use it in nodes.
Yes, not only whatever, yeah, not only the NASA, NSE,
Mm.
Network Stock Exchange, you know, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
NSE. They are using the Python language.
Okay.
YouTube,
Oh,
it
yeah,
is also Python.
I got you. Okay,
So
so when
see,
is the real class starting, Pawan? When are you starting the real class?
yeah, actually, I don't have all those details with me.
Oh,
Just reach out to the Visualpath admin, so
oh.
they will guide you.
Mm. Mm. Okay, I got you. Thank you very much
So
for it's very interesting, and I expected you be talking about booleans, integers, and all, but you told
no, no, no.
something. new.
No, no, no. First, that is not a cut way because first we
I,
need to give some overview on the Python. Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
later we will discuss about the basics. Then after discussing
Demo,
about the over.
yes. No, when you said demo, I thought that's what you were going to talk, but this is giving a total idea about where we use it practically and how to work on, real
Yeah,
time. Like
yeah.
it gave me a different understanding about what the tutorials going to be. Thank you very much, Python. I'm sorry, Pawan. I'm sorry. Appreciate your
Yeah, thank
beautiful
you.
lesson. And I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to joining. But the thing is, I am not an absolute beginner. I don't know where to start, and I have to wait till you start your Django. And I'll talk to the people, and then I will. Thank you very much. It's so clear and beautiful presentation, right?
thank, thank you, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Okay. Anything else?
Is there any possibility this class can start 30 minutes earlier when its actual class is starting?
So once we decide with the batch, so we will discuss about the time. Yeah,
Okay,
Naga.
okay, okay. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Chetu?
Hi, Pawan. Like,
Yeah,
I'm an
hi.
absolute beginner. I don't know anything about Python. Will this start from the beginning, the like basics?
Yeah, I will start it from the basics, from introduction. From introduction, I will start it. Okay, I have to show the introduction part. So introduction part. Yeah. So from introduction part, I will start. Okay, how to execute a Python program. So and also using the IDEs. Okay, I will explain. First, I will try to explain how to use the Jupyter notebook. So this is the basic. Okay, so from Jupyter notebook, if you learn the Python means it is very easy to write a coding. Okay, and then after we will go to the VS Code. Okay, so in these three IDs, in these two IDs, I can explain you how to write a coding. Okay, and this is about the introduction, so I will explain each and everything, so how the code will works and internally how it works. I will explain each and everything. Okay, so no need to worry.
Okay, Pawan. Thank you.
So you want us to contact the admin about when you are going to start this tutorials, or you can give us an idea, Pawan?
Yes, Rin. Yes.
When are they going to send us any separate email about how much is the fee and how long and when you are starting the actual class and all?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
kindly
you
ask
you
them to
have.
send one email to each and every attendee, so we will be going through the email and we know when to pay them the money and start the classes. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I will explain.
Thank
I will
you.
tell to the visual part team.
Yeah.
Okay. I will tell to my team. They will send you the
Right.
mail to you. Okay.
The information regarding when you're starting and how much it's costing, right? Like a
Yeah.
course
Okay.
fee structure and everything. If they give us one email and send us one email, it'll be nice for us to, instead of trying to contact somebody who we don't know who you are talking about information. So if they send one email, they already have my email address like everybody's, because we got the link. So if they send information, it'll be nice for us to be prepared to start the classes and pay them in
Okay.
advance.
Or else provide your Gmails. I will forward it to Visualpath team. Or else send it in the chat.
Yes,
They will copy the emails and they will send you the information through mail.
yes, 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 sir. Thank you very much again, and have a great night. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. You too. Bye.